Hello, good morning. My name is Tessa Murphy and I'm here representing Amnesty International. In 2011, Amnesty was given unprecedented access to 3 of California's SHUs, including Pelican Bay. We documented our findings into a report along with a set of recommendations that we have pushed for the past year for CDCR to incorporate into the reforms discussed today. I would urge the committee to study these recommendations, or at least 3 pages of them, when considering where to legislate on this issue. In less than a minute, these reforms fail to bring California into compliance with requirements under international law and standards for the humane treatment of prisoners and their right to be free. Okay.
If you could make sure that we have copies of the report, we'd like that too.
Yeah, you won't be cheated. Your comments will be.
Thank you. My name is Dolores Canales. I'm a founding member of California Families to Abolish Solitary Confinement, and I have to tell you that these hearings and even the processes with the step-down program give the family much hope. But I do have here with me articles from 1990, 1992, 93. High-tech facility ushers in new era of state prisons.
All right, I'm going to ask you to submit those articles, and we appreciate it very much.
And I just want to say that if there's not change now, there won't be any.
Next speaker, please. Respect. I know. I told you that this was not going to be out of our hands. I'm trying here.
My name's Virginia Gutierrez Brown. My husband, Paul Brown, was in solitary confinement at Pelican Bay for 28 years. He's now at Corcoran in the main line and doing very well, working. I saw him blossom from a shell of what he was to a more happy human being. And I urge the committee to continue its work to abolish solitary confinement.
Thank you so much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Beth, and my husband's been in the Bay SHU for 19 years. What I want to say is you cannot overlay a new program on the same old culture, and that's been discussed. You also cannot lay a program on men who do not trust the system because they have not been considered their whole psychology. A lot of men are refusing to program, and it's not because they don't want to cooperate. They would love to cooperate with a truly effective and meaningful program. They're not being obstinate. They want respect.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Thank you so much, committee, for having this hearings. My brother was previously housed in Pelican Bay for 23 years. He was validated for an art magazine and for another inmate having his name in his cell. But he went up to his DRB board, and they told him that he should have never been validated the last 11 years. My point is, there are men sitting back there in solitary confinement with CDC with bogus charges. And there's human real estate. What they're doing is human real estate on all of these SHU members.
Thank you.
So please, please keep having these hearings, and CDC stop making bogus claims on our loved ones.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
What is the negative about a step-down program? Everything. Because the same is IGI, who condone them to be in the solitary confinement, is the same people who are ruling the step-down program. So they're not going to get out of the SHU because the same people who are fabricating the lies to put them in the SHU are the same people in charge of the step-down program. Last week, 2 days without the hot water in Pelican Bay. Not even hot because it's warm. So not even a coffee they can drink. My brother is 14 years in the solitary confinement and still going.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi. After 11 years of being in prison, my son has now been placed in the SHU. After 13 months, he has developed severe mental issues. We're still appealing his case. You have 30,000 estimated mentally ill inmates. How many more have to become mentally ill before you change these rules?
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Marie Levin. My brother has been housed in a security housing unit for 30 years now, locked up 33 years, and now 30 years in the SHU for a crime he didn't even commit. What I'm here to say is that abolish the SHU. It is inhumane. It is torturous, and I'm tired of my brother having to go through this for decades. Decades. I hope you guys are really listening. Decades.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, please.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you
so much for finally, hearing our, our hearts and our, the cries of our incarcerated ones. And I just want to say that, CDCR says that while they are taking credit for like all these wonderful events that are happening, that our loved ones are coming out. No, I believe it was because of the hunger strike, because of this courageous men who put their lives at stake, and so they're the ones that deserve the credit, and I thank them so much, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Zizi Lloyd. I'm from San Francisco. I'm 17 years old, and I'm here with Project What. Aristotle, a wise philosopher, called humans social creatures, therefore insinuating that for humanity to thrive, we must be exposed to other humans and put in social situations. By condoning the existence of solitary confinement, we are permitting not only inhumane treatment of our fellow humans, but also stripping those of their humanity. And as a child of someone who has been subjected to this box of dehumanization, I ask you, how would you feel if it was your family member or close friend, or even yourself being subjected to the conditions of solitary confinement? Would you still allow it? Let us gain back our humanity and cease this pointless, inhumane treatment of our fellow man and eradicate solitary confinement for ourselves and future generations. Surely we can find better alternatives.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Jemani. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a part of Project What. And I just wanted to say that I opposed of this because hearing my father say he was in the hole for 6 months and then the next 88 days is just really hard, and all the hardship he had to face. So I just want to say I oppose.
Thank you very much for being here. Next speaker, please.
My son's in solitary confinement since 2009. He was reviewed to be able to have a cellmate, but the person that reviewed him said that he should never have been in there in the first place, so that they agreed to give him a cellmate. And there is absolutely no reason that we as family members should not be able to have contact with our loved ones. That would be the first step of rehabilitation.
Thank you so much. Next speaker, please.
Right here? Okay. Really quickly, I messed up. The SHU program violates the Fifth Amendment inhumane rights. Problem easily solved. Coordinate CDCR implement intense therapy programs instead of 23 hours lockdown and step down program. Can't do it. Contract a consultant to implement the strategies. AB 109 needs to be implemented in LA County, because they're just implementing it in 9% of the cases. In Orange County, it's a success in 60% of the cases.
Okay, thank you.
And one more thing I want to add real quick is,
all right,
instead of building jails, we should be sending that money for education and rehabilitation.
Thank you so much.
And
next
jobs. Right after the hunger strike, the Supreme Court and other courts here in California told that that they should immediately start releasing prisoners from the largest industrial prison complex in the world, which also is a Wall Street and world stock enterprise. So on February 10th, which was yesterday, I read on my tablet that they went against the legislation of the Supreme Court and other courts here to say that it will be 2 more years, and you can look and find this on the websites, that'll be 2 more years before any more prisoners will be released, and this program will be put into effect. And that's been said to us in the future. And we wonder how many 2 more years that we have to go. And my son's been at Pelican Bay for 8 years because someone else validated and put his name and said he did something when he was at Tehachapi.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, very much.
And the person didn't even know my son.
Next speaker, please.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for having us here. I just want to say something. I remember when Governor Brown was during his campaign, he said family visitors are very important for rehabilitation. and for family reintegration. So why does CDCR ship our loved ones from one state to another end of the states of the USA?
Thank you, ma'am, very much. Next speaker, please.
Thank you for being the moral conscience and the legal oversight committee of the CDCR torture policies. There's been 3 hunger strikes to date. 2 prisoners that were Mexican-American Chicanos have died as a result from medical neglect and complications of the hunger strike. All prisoners are protected by the human rights law, by the Covenant Against Torture, Cruel and Demeaning Punishment and Treatment, and Mexican Americans and African Americans, both as national minorities, are further protected by the United Nations Article 27 Covenant on the Civil and Political Rights of Recognized Oppressed National Minorities. And lastly, Mexican Americans are also further protected by the 1848 Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. President Obama has exhorted us not to talk about international law because he doesn't want us talking about it, but not to do so is a form of American exceptionalism in its worst form.
Thank you very much, sir. Next speaker, please.
Kim McGill from the Youth Justice Coalition. We wanted to remind you that the majority of the people in the SHU and Pelican Bay throughout the California system and at the county level in our juvenile halls and camps are young people under the age of 25. So we have several young people here who have experienced solitary confinement to talk about the impact it has on even days or weeks in solitary confinement, let alone the ridiculous 3 years that's being proposed by the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, I'm Jesus Bonilla. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to hear my voice, and I want to share a little experience what I went through. I started feeling I had short visits, shower less than 3 times a week. I fall asleep hungry, freezing to crickets on me. No restroom, had to use the restroom on their time. Even though I'm a human being, I felt like a dog, just sitting there hopelessly, waiting for the Lord to answer my prayers. No one's perfect, everyone makes mistakes, and there's always a solution for a problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
My name is Carla Fuentes. I'm with the Youth Justice Coalition, and I want to say thank you for letting me speak. A week into juvenile hall, I got jumped by 7 girls. The outcome of that incident occurred. I was immediately thrown in solitary confinement for my safety. But in reality, it was a punishment for my actions of self-defense. My menstrual cycle came out of emotional stress, and I asked for sanitary t-shirts and received none. After 3 days of bleeding, I finally received my shower. That was only for 30 seconds. I took advantage of those 30 seconds, and those days just felt so far away. I had only 2 days left. And I just wanted to wrap it up with saying I spent 5 days in solitary confinement, which felt like 2 weeks of hell. And I just want to tell you how these conditions are, and
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Juan Peña, and I'm with the Youth Justice Coalition. And I want to say I support this bill because my friend at the age of 12, he got solitary confinement for 2 years because of his crime.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tanisha Donald. I'm with the Youth Justice Coalition. In high school, I was arrested for a minor fight and truancy tickets and was sent to Los Regional Juvenile Hall. For the first few days, I was very distant. I wouldn't eat or go to the day room, which is a large room where you sit with other girls or people. I felt unsure and uncomfortable. But instead of trying to counsel me, the probation staff just stopped talking to me. They even stopped asking if I wanted food or day room time. Even though I wasn't on lockdown, it felt like I was in solitary confinement already. I guess the staff thought I was depressed, so they put me on lockdown for real. No cellmate, no day room, no hope. It makes no sense that if you're depressed, they put you in a situation that makes you even more depressed. I felt completely unwanted and unnoticed. It made me think about petty things that other people are locked away for, and that how any little move I make could get me behind bars. I started to feel tense when any of the guards came close to my cell, paranoid that I had done something wrong, when in reality I had been by myself for the last 23 hours of the day. It is by far the worst feeling I have ever experienced. Being locked down makes you feel that you are worthless to society and you don't even want to be yourself. You start thinking about ways to escape, even if it means suicide. It's traumatizing. Even when I got home, I felt I had changed. My family cannot believe the experience, and it constantly made me feel like I was a bad person. That feeling of hopelessness had only increased. I think everyone in SHU deserves something better than a 23-hour cell.
Thank you.
If we need to heal or calm down, the best thing will be to create nature parks or have us work outside to grow food or take vacational training so we can start our life over after release. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker, please.
Thank you.
My name is Davon Williams. I'm a person who has been previously incarcerated in my past. I am now a member of the Youth Justice Coalition. During the time of my incarceration, I was put into solitary confinement for about 2 weeks. I was put into there because of health reasons that I have no control over. I have epilepsy and I had a seizure. The guards were called by my cellmates, and the officers thought I was playing and put me into solitary confinement. From the moment I was put in the hole, I felt isolated and depressed. The room was freezing, it was dirty, and there wasn't a bed, only a hard concrete seat attached to the wall that you were to use as a bed. The room was very small. I felt trapped. There's a small, tiny window in the door that I would peek out of just to get out of the claustrophobic making of the cell. One day, the guard caught me looking out there and put something over it so I could no longer see anything. I just felt hopeless and trapped. They hadn't let me shower for about 3 or 4 days. I was smelling myself and felt disgusted. After a few days in solitary confinement, I started to feel like I was going crazy. I started to make up stories, started talking to myself, and imagination was blasting. I look back now and see how creative but dangerous the mind can be. If a person wasn't already insane or had mental health problems before coming into solitary confinement, spending enough time in there, you would lose your sanity. Solitary confinement only creates more problems, not fixes them. It is cruel punishment to be treated like a caged animal. I never received a change of clothes, but only about 2 times during those 2 weeks. I was ignored like I did not exist. I even had several seizures because sometimes they did not bring my medicine on time or not at all. And stress is one of the main triggers of my seizures. I kept knocking on the door after passing out from having seizures a few times, but I was still ignored. I couldn't do anything about it. This was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I wish this on nobody. The cruel punishment of solitary confinement must be eliminated. I had no books, no paper, no nothing to write or nothing to address the complete boredom in the hole. Being in there felt traumatizing. Only 3 or 2 days would feel like I'd been in there a week. I would never know whether it was day or night. Everybody deserves to keep their sanity and not be forced to become insane from lengthy times in solitary confinement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last thing I just want to get across is people who have experienced this should be given the opportunity to present our observations and solutions for those such as myself and families who have been most experienced in solitary confinement, experts in this issue. Thank you.
You, sir. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and I'm with Project What. I'm 18 years old. My dad is living under political asylum in the United States right now. He was arrested in China for corruption charge and was put in a SHU for 5 years due to his special identity. Later, he was deported to the United States for having aggressive political attitude. As a child of an inmate who was put in the SHU, I personally experienced how my father's personality has changed. As a father and husband, he used to be really supportive, but now his aggression ruined his marriage and career. Solitary confinement is designed to stop aggressive behavior, but somehow it actually stimulates the aggression by isolating inmates. So please stop solitary confinement, not only for the inmates, but for their family members who are praying every day that the person who get out of the jail will still be the person they used to love. I can't believe this wonderful nation who accepted my father when he had nowhere to go is doing the exactly same thing that the Chinese government is doing right now.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Hello, I'm Lorenzo Cortez. I'm with Project What, and I'm 17 years old. I guess basically when I think of the segregation method in jail, I'm thinking of it to rehabilitate the person. But really it's just dehumanizing, and when you're isolated by yourself, you look for ways to cope with where you're at, adapt to your environment. And I just feel like it really socially destroys the person and dehumanizes the person and doesn't give them a chance to rehabilitate. So I guess I'm saying I oppose this. Thank you.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just here I'm going to read a little quick piece from a letter from Gabriel Reyes. He's in Pelican Bay, the SHU. I have been held in these harsh conditions for 17 years. As a human being, what did this type of punishment do to me and others subjected to it for prolonged periods of time? Am I not a human being who craves the physical touch? Am I not a son who longs to hug his mother? Am I not a father whose heart pleads to hold his daughters in his own arms and hear their giggles? Am I not a brother, uncle, and more that needs the warmth and touch from all his family, friends, and loved ones? Am I not a man whose very beings cries out to share the company of a woman? To feel that soft touch, a light caress, or soft whisper, to privately share an intimate secret, or just smell the sweetness of her favorite scent? I am a human being. I am a man. Without these very natural things, which are natural right, I am slowly dying every day. I am slowly being castrated of my very existence and natural purpose in life. Here in Pelican Bay, amongst the living dead, where hope is just a dream, where dreams are non-existent to the already dead. Help give us back our humanity. Help give us back lives. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
I just want to read a quick, what he put also of change today that we can make, and the title, the CDCR, the Title 15, certain codes as far as visiting goes that are in the books that entitles them to certain visits, contact visits. But it just basically says that he asked the guards, why can't they get the visits? And they told him SHU inmates are not allowed to contact visits with no explanation given.
All right, we'll follow up.
If it's in the law, you know what I mean?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Hi, my name is Miguel Jacobo. If I may, can I speak in Spanish to the crowd?
Sure.
Me llamo Miguel Jacobo, tengo 28 años de edad. 4 años estuve preso en el sistema de California. En esos 4 años nunca pasé tiempo en el SHU, pero he oído historias de compañeros y son las mismas cuentas de tristeza y soledad, inexplicable y destruye hasta la alma de una persona buena. Cada uno de mis compañeros estuvo en el SHU, ya no son iguales. Los que un tiempo fueron felices y juguetones ya simplemente son enojones y mal encachados. Hay animales en captividad que aún viven y alimentan mejor que a los presos en el SHU. Y eso a mí me da tristeza en el corazón. Por favor, soporten esta causa para parar esta tortura que está pasando en el SHU. Gracias por su tiempo. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Hello, I'm Delphine Brody, a mental health client survivor advocate. I strongly support the 5 core demands of the hunger strikers. We need to abolish the SHUs. We need to end solitary confinement in California prisons. This has gone on way too long. California is the outlier of the outliers. We have seen, and I hope that that both joint committees have in your hands the report of Dr. Raymond Patterson, the court-appointed psychologist who researched suicides in the system and made recommendations to CDCR on the prison mental health system, which is still under federal control. Governor Brown's bid last year to move that system back to California's control was denied by a judge because of the atrocious conditions. 33%. There's a 33% higher chance that someone will take their own life if they are in a segregated unit
All
of
right,
any
thank
kind.
you.
Thank
you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. Hi, my name is Vanessa Gutierrez, and I'm here with Project What. I'm 16 years old. And I'm a child with an incarcerated parent. I wouldn't want my own mother to go through this, so I oppose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Glad you're here. Next speaker, please.
How y'all doing? I'm Kaymani Baxter, and I'm from Oakland, California. And I have a parent that was sentenced to 66 years to life. And I just feel that he shouldn't be persecuted even more after his 66 years of life. That's why I oppose the SHU, and I don't feel that. I feel like that takes away a person's mental psyche to have them in a hole or something that's considered as a whole. So, yeah, that's why I oppose the SHU.
Thank you. I know he's very proud of you. Next speaker, please.
My name is Sheila Pinkel. I've been writing to a man who's been in the SHU in Pelican Bay. He's been there for 25 years. For 25 years, he's not touched another human being or seen the sunlight, and he writes about how difficult it is for him to retain his sanity. There's no judicial oversight for this system of torturous incarceration, which is medieval in its extent. And I really urge the legislature to assert oversight over CDCR so that the people will be treated humanely in detention.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
I'm Willow Katz, Imbara, Santa Cruz. Issuing and supporting the agreement to end hostilities should be identified as positive behaviors and included as ways to step down and get out of solitary, not retaliated against with rules violations. In order to refrain from STG behavior, the prisoners are forced to give up their political, social, cultural beliefs and materials. This is brainwashing, does not allow fully voluntary and free informed consent without force or coercion, violates Article 1 of the Nuremberg Code on Human Experimentations, and is a human rights abuse. Stop retaliation against the hunger strikers and those who issued and supported the agreement to end hostilities. At Pelican Bay SHU, food's been decreased to bite-sized or child-sized portions, not enough for male adults, frequently served on top of wet cardboard, and some is spoiled or not completely cooked. Adequate food is a human right and is one of the prisoners' 5 core demands. Provide adequate and nutritious food.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Michael Cortez. I'm 16 years old. I'm with the program Project What. Solitary confinement steals the man from the man, turning him into a shell within a shell. Loneliness and depression is created within this solitary confinement, causing this man to change into somebody he doesn't even know and a stranger to his loved ones. Mankind needs to be kinder to man to achieve peace and rehabilitation. Isn't rehabilitation what prison is for, or is that the mask it hides under? You tell me. Who is anybody to judge? We're all equal no matter what. Change for the future or decline in the present.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
All right. My name is Frederick Williams. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Union City, California. I'm against solitary confinement. Research has shown if we put animals in captivity and we release them into the wild, it has been proven ineffective. They will die. So why are we doing this to human beings? Solitary confinement can cause people to lose sanity and chronic depression. It also causes socializing problems. I oppose solitary confinement as a child of an incarcerated parent. My mom and my father have both been incarcerated. At one point, my mom was incarcerated with me when she was pregnant, and that just shows how prison is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, very much. Next speaker.
My name's Alex Sanchez. I run the gang intervention program in Los Angeles, and I fully support the agreement to end hostilities for various reasons. This shows that gang members inside have chosen to be part of a solution that the state of California has failed for the last 40 years. And this needs to be applauded and commended, such as what the government did in El Salvador when the proceso de pacificación, or the process for pacification in El Salvador, with 30 gang members in the solitary confinement prison in Zacatecolucas got together, and they were taken out of segregated housing unit into general population. 51% of crime in homicides was reduced. This is another model that needs to be looked at. And if you go to Washington State, you got to meet with Pete Carroll. Okay. He started a Better LA here in Los Angeles, where he started organizing and helping youth that have been involved in gang violence, and he's been over there, and he started a Better Seattle as well.
Thank you, sir, very much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Amanda Perez, and I facilitate groups on anger management, life skills in Los Angeles. I've been doing this for about 15 years now, and it was amazing to me to see that the cycle of violence is the practice of CDCR. And it's amazing to me that they're not being prepared for coming out eventually into the general public or to the general yard. And the post-incarcerated syndrome, which is very vivid. I know I am also a former prisoner. People, once they get out, they cannot touch other people. There's a lot of trauma, and there's no one really helping them out in the free world, especially in general population. And so I encourage the legislation to please put an oversight, independent, to oversee that all these measures are put. I was here in 2004, and I still keep hearing the same thing. It's all a dog and pony show.
Thank
and I'm
you.
tired. I think people are too, and the taxpayers also.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Gloria, and my brother is in the SHU now. He's already completed 4 years, and he was supposed to come out in December. All of a sudden, the date has been extended to June, and now they have magically came up with a new write-up where they're trying to give him 6 more years. And I thought we were trying to stop this, not extend it. I do appreciate for the panel that stayed and to listen to this, because this new real reform or new promise, I want to hear in the next hearing, this cannot be done overnight. We need more clarification. No.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Heidi Pimentel. I am here with the Youth Justice Coalition. I have not experienced consultation consent myself, but I have seen how much it's hurt other people around me, my friends and their families. I believe in God, and I know God does not want his children to be locked up worse than animals. I heard how they've been in a room smaller than a closet for days without a shower. Girls personally need a shower, guys too. We need space. We don't want to be locked up like animals. I know that for a fact, because I know I wouldn't like that myself. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jesus Silva. I am with the Youth Justice Coalition to talk about the Senate Bill 970, solitary confinement, as you guys well know. I believe this bill is insane in every way. It portrays ignorance because it simply expects one simply cannot expect an individual to have a healthy mentality after being incarcerated in a room with very low sanitary conditions. It's inhuman how individuals are treated like animals, no education, concrete bed, and overall, they deteriorate mentally. Mississippi seems to understand this, so why not California, the most powerful state?
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Laurel Gord. I'm with the Friends Committee on Legislation of California, and I want to thank you, first of all, for shedding light on this important issue. I'm deeply moved by the testimony of family members and hearing that the state of California is an outlier within the states, and the United States is an outlier within the world of nations in the use of this demonstrated to be extremely devastating and damaging practice that really is torture. I believe should be a great source of shame for all of us living in California. And I hope that we can find a way to really make meaningful change in this arena. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Thank you. My name is Joel Britton. As the Pelican Bay prisoners pointed out in their statement, this is a sham. This is a bogus reform. This so-called justice system is not reformable. End the torture. Abolish the SHU. This is a fight that's in the interest of all working people. Prison guards and other cops are not part of our class. These same prison officials deny working people behind bars their free speech rights to receive newspapers like the one I write for, The Militant, Socialist News Weekly. We have joined with publications like the San Francisco Bayview in demanding an end to the censorship.
Thank you, sir, very much. Next speaker, please.
Thank you. My name is Lauren Kennedy. I have a brother in the SHU serving a 52-year sentence. He's been in the SHU for a total of 13 years. Oh, God. And I hope that I see a day where we don't have to snicker and throw up our hands in exasperation at promises from the CDCR. I do believe that people working within the system and families who are subject to it do have a lot in common. And I hope to see a day when we're working on the same side, but I've personally been listening to lies straight to my face and my family's face since I was 11 years old. One thing that I didn't really hear brought up today is that we use the term gang so much to describe policy, and nobody understands the effects of gang violence better than family members. But when it comes to policy, really what we're using is a term that's outdated and racist and political. We're talking about poverty and survival for the most part. So I would be very judicious with the use of the word gangs in the future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
500, someone used the word human real estate earlier, and yeah, that's what this comes down to, 500 years worth of human real estate. Mr. Stainer said straight up on the 9th of October that he had no data showing that ever since they instituted these hellholes called shoes, that it had reduced any kind of prison gang activity. What is this about?
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Dr. Nancy Arvold. I'm a member of the Prisoner Hunger Strike Support Coalition, but today I'm representing an organization that I'm on the steering committee of. It's an international psychological and other mental health providers, professionals organization called Psychologists for Social Responsibility. And I have a letter here for you. I just want to read the beginning and the end. We quote Craig Haney, who can speak for himself. We quote Juan Mendez, who says that very clearly that solitary confinement is a harsh measure contrary to rehabilitation, which is the aim of the penitentiary system, and the UN Committee on Torture that says very clearly that the purpose with solitary confinement is retribution, and in which case it constitutes cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment or punishment. But I want to read the final paragraph in our letter. Decades of psychological research have established the severe psychological effects of solitary confinement. Thus, Psychologists for Social Responsibility, which is an international organization, believe that solitary confinement should only be used as a rare last resort for periods short enough to not cause psychological harm. We join the United Nations Committee Against Torture and the United Nations Special Rapporteur in calling for a total ban on prolonged solitary confinement. My organization is committed to staying with this as long as necessary to have solitary confinement abolished.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, please.
Hi, thank you. My name is Angelica Camacho, and I'm up here because I am concerned for the psyche of prisoners, but also the people that work at Pelican Bay. And I'd like to bring us to the attention that Matthew Honeycutt, who was a correctional officer that in December allegedly stabbed another man of our community in the throat, and that to me, I think, is a result of working in a place like Pelican Bay, you know. And I'm concerned because correctional officers don't stay in the prison. They come out here and they join us, you know. And I'd like to ask CDCR, would you put somebody like him in a shoe cell who actually physically abused somebody for 10 to 20 years? Probably not, because you have love for him, because you realize he's a person. And I'd like to remind you guys that those people that are behind shoe cells are people also, and they have family members here. There's somebody's son, somebody's father. So I like to ask compassion for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us speak. My name is Brenda. I have a son that started out with 5 years, and somebody found his name in a book, and now he's in Pelican Bay. He's been there for 20 years. He left home at 21. He's now 43 years old. He hasn't seen none of my 3 grandkids, his brother, or no one. And it's just ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I correspond with the man who is a brilliant activist. He's incarcerated in Corcoran Prison in the SHU unit, and I want to share his concern about the mandatory journaling requirement since he couldn't be here to do it himself. He alerted me to the fact that any form of mandatory behavior modification under coercive conditions is against Article 1 of the Nuremberg Code. So please do not let the CDCR put us in the class of Nazi war criminals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Edilberto Flores, and I'm from the organization Operation Street Kids and Youth Justice Coalition. I want to share my experience from when I first got detained. I got detained at the age of 16, and I went to East Lake Juvenile Hall. And at the moment when I was there, they put me in a unit that was always in lockdown. Each time I woke up, all I got to see was just out through my window, and then, they brought me my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. And I only went to school. After school, we came back, and we were back on lockdown, back in our rooms. And half of the time when we went to go take a shower, we took a shower with cold water. They made us sleep in our boxers, made us sleep in a cold room. And each time I tried to work out, I would look at the floor, and the floor was very dirty. And so I said to myself, so what do I have to do? I don't have no books, no papers, no pencils, so nothing that I could write to my family. As well that no one else should go through this experience right here. So what we should do is to not let nobody ever go through this, because it actually affects people in their mind mentally, and it's something that when they actually try to do something fine, they actually end up screwing it up because of all the things that they have been missing out, because they don't have no human contact with nobody else. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Constance Pedroza. My son is in Pelican Bay, SHU, has been for over 18 years. When he was put in the SHU, his two girls were 3 years old and 1 year old. Today they're with me, and one is 24 and the other one is 21. They're upstairs in the balcony listening to all of this that has gone on today. We are still in the same room. No, the hearing room was changed. But it was the same stories, the same rhetoric from CDC, little r, because there's no rehab. What happened with that little r came to be a big R was the hearing taking place in the hearing rooms for the rules and regulations when they put the rehab into the letter R. Nobody went to the hearing. I think there was like maybe 12 people, the public, that went. So anything that the Rules and Regulations Committee sees fit to write in, and whoever writes it, it always gets to be law. California Department of Corrections has always been a law within their self. They have a prison guard union that has been their backbone for decades now. So I just wanted to say that I haven't heard anything new, and I do commend Tom Amiano and Lonnie and Miss Skinner. She's not here, but there you are.
Yeah.
I didn't see you. Other committee members that are dedicated to do something.
Thank you so
and
much.
I really appreciate your efforts, but unless you have more money than the union, I don't think nothing will get done.
Thank you.
And that's my honest opinion. And I just want to say my son and other sons are still languishing in the SHU. They're still there right now in that cement box, waiting for word from here to see what's going to happen. Will something happen? Will they do anything about this?
All right. Thank you.
We just have a waiting game. Again, 2004, it's still the same.
Feel helpless. Yeah.
I've sent packages to committee members, legislatures, governor, president. I get back standard letters. Your son, unless he knows what he has to do, he has to debrief, and then he can get out. Those are the standard letters I've gotten from every warden. And, of course, just standard letters from government offices say, thank you for your interest.
All right, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Yeah, my name's Tommy Reyes. I just got, it's time for a change, man. CDC's been getting away with too long. We're overdue for a change. I've been in prison 7 times, man. But you know what? I've been cleaning out for 11 years. And It's just time for a change. That's all I got to say, man, because you know what? They've been getting away too long. Too long doing stuff they're doing, and it's wrong, man.
Thank you.
Put the taxpayers' money to education, to schools for the kids, you know? Not prisons. That's not the answer. Like my mom said, rehabilitation, there ain't no rehabilitation in the CDC no more. It's long been gone, man. You know? That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
I came back up to the mic to say thank you to the two of you.
All right.
And to your committees. But not only that, the 115.
I appreciate this, and I don't want to be rude, but we just can't let people come back. That would have to work for everyone. I'd be happy to talk to you further, but I got to cut you off. Otherwise, it just doesn't. It don't work. I'm so sorry. Next speaker, please.
Okay, my name's Diana Block. I'm here with the California Coalition for Women Prisoners, and I just want to say quickly that this is an issue for the people in women's prisons, the women and transgender people too, that since the closure of Valley State Prison for Women, there has been an increased use of isolation as a way of controlling and dealing with the extreme overcrowding, and this has really got to stop, and the committee really needs to investigate what's going on in the women's prisons as well. And so I thank you for your time, and I hope you will take this up seriously. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Okay, so this is just a little anecdote to give you an idea of how easy it is to get put in the shoe. Good evening, state legislators. I stand here on behalf of my brother who is serving time at Pelican Bay Prison. He's been incarcerated since he was 17. He'll be 30 this year. My brother was found with a razor blade in the privacy of his cell, and without any due process of law, he was placed in solitary torture where he's remained there for the past 3 years. I could feel his overwhelming sense of accomplishment, and he would tell me how he makes clothing, socks, beanies, gloves, underwear, shorts, you name it. He didn't get caught using that blade as a deadly weapon. His crime was using that blade as a tool to cut his material, but you don't see that in his file. All you see is found with the possession of a deadly weapon, 3 years solitary torture. Who knows when he's going to get out? I do understand that having a razor blade is not allowed in prison facilities because of its potential as a deadly weapon. However, if it is being used as a tool to do work, then instead of punishing a man by putting him in the shoe for more than 3 years when his intentions were only to keep busy for the sake of mental health, that blade should have been taken away and replaced with a different tool that is acceptable for those who want to sew and make clothes. A better idea would be to implement a workshop that supplies tools and the proper equipment that allows prisoners to utilize them wisely. After all, it is the vital human instinct to find ways to survive by utilizing our resources in order to adapt to our surroundings, and henceforth continue that fight for survival. The prison officials are taking this away from the prisoners. The basic human instincts of survival these officials are taking away from the prisoners is their humanity. They place these prisoners in an extremely unsuitable environment with very little to no resources, and instead of encouraging them to find ways to adapt, they are slowly taking away any of the resources that allows them to do so. Please, legislators, let's implement some workshops, some vocational programs, something that gives our loved ones something good to talk about every time we get a chance to visit them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.